I wanna take you to a gay bar. I wanna take you to a gay bar. I wanna take you to a gay bar, gay bar, gay bar.
No, we can't do that.
No, too late. I've already started, so we're already recording. Okay.
Well, if you've already seen Euphoria season 2, you'll know why that's relevant.
Exactly. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Half a Clue TV Review. Here we're going to be talking about Euphoria season 2 in all its glory and everything and all the
Shit.
tea.
Oh.
People say tea, right? Do they still say tea?
People say tea.
Yeah, there's lots of tea going around. Herbal, chai, whatever.
We're here to spill it.
So, we're also going to talk about the Christmas special and the New Year's special as well, because we already spoke about season 1, but those are, these are the two specials that were released during COVID, I believe. And starting off, might as well just jump right into it. Rue's special.
Wait, what?
What?
By the way, this is your host, Ron.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Today, it's just, by the way, it's just me, Ron, I'm hosting, and Rosie. Hey.
Special guest.
Yeah,
Rosie.
Special episode today. Just the two of us.
We've got so many specials. All right, so Rue's special.
Yeah, Rue's special. Just her and Ali, they were together in a diner, and it was just basically kind of like almost like a bottle episode. Like, it kind of felt like those classic, like kind of shows where they just this entire episode's taking place in a cave because we can't afford to shoot outside. So this cave is taking place inside of here, whatever. So this one is just inside of the diner. Just a conversation between Rue and Ali where there's lots of themes going on. They're just a very deep conversation between both characters.
Lots and lots of pancakes.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was pretty great so far, though. I mean, the episode, honestly, one of my favorite things the show has done.
No, I agree. It was so raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really kind of cut to the core of just the general theme of the show and Rue's character.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, it really, super bare bones, stripped everything away when it comes down to the basics of what this show is trying to say and do. This is it. This, and also, it works kind of perfectly in tangent with Jules' special, because that's almost the other side of it. Way more stylized, way more
artsy, metaphorical.
Exactly. But Rue's special was breaks down to the bare essentials of what they're trying to say, and basically the main theme of this entire show, which is addiction.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what do you think about them, setting it inside of a diner?
I know you guys did a video on it, but it reminded me a lot of Mass.
Oh, yeah.
Which was very similar. It was just in one room, just kind of stripping it down, pure conversation about the subject matter. And it was moving. I think that having it in a diner kind of takes away any possible distractions too, especially it being in a diner. All diners basically look exactly the same.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to kind of distract you from the conversation.
Exactly. It's just between these two characters just kind of laying their souls bare, and between two one addict, one who's clearly going through a bender at that moment. But no, I love how Ali just kind of just cuts straight through Rue, just
right through her bullshit.
Exactly. He's pushes past all of it and is no. Let's get down to what's really happening here. What are your actual beliefs on this? What are you trying to do here? What are your goals? Do you see, and also being at the same time very forgiving and understanding of the trauma and the struggles that she's going with, because really he understands her like nobody else does.
Yeah. I'm really glad that Rue's special is just her and Ali. I think that he's the perfect character for what they're trying to do here.
Absolutely. And this is my first time going through the show. I only watched the special pretty recently leading up to this review, but I had seen the first season also recently, and I was like, man, Ali seems like such a cool character. I hope we get more of him. And this special was pretty much exactly what I wanted. I was just a regular conversation between the two of them, because he has such a presence on screen, and so does Zendaya, of course, as Rue. They just kind of, they work off each other so well, where he can kind of just feed her and I think Zendaya like is just has the best reactions throughout the show.
Yeah.
Her facial
Oh my
expressions,
gosh, I'm here for it.
yeah, just fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
and I mean, also, I know you said his presence is amazing, but his voice as well. Like, this is all dialogue, and he
yeah,
has such a great voice.
yeah, no, really, yeah, it helps kind of just carry like everything he's saying just like a little further.
So captivating.
Yeah, that's great. So let's get into Jules' special. Jules is just her episode is a little bit more dynamic. Instead, it's kind of bounces around. There's like flashbacks and
It's a
possible
lot of
flash forwards.
quick just cuts,
Yeah.
too.
And it's her speaking with her therapist. Kind of get a little more insight into her psyche and her past and her relationship with her mother, which is something that they lightly touched upon in the first season, but not really went into. But you see how she was like an addict, how she tried to like basically rekindle her relationship at one point with Jules, but it just didn't exactly go anywhere. So I don't know. Do you think this episode gives enough context to Jules as a character and like her decisions through season one? You know, especially with how she handled her relationship with Rue and even with Nate. What do you think?
That's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, it's a very broad question.
Yeah. I was not gonna lie, kind of very sick when watching the Jules special.
We're gonna be
And
honest
it's
here.
a lot to take in. Like you said, like it's so quick and it's hard to like keep up with like what's real and what's just like the way she's interpreting it in her like super creative mind that she has. And
Yeah.
again with like the flash forwards, there's a lot of stuff in there that's like, is this what she's imagining for herself? Is this actually happening? And when you're thinking about the what?
Oh no, sorry. I was just gonna say there's like a similar moment in the beginning of Rue's special with her like relationship with Jules.
Oh, I forgot about that. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no,
do go on.
Yeah, it's kind of like that flash forward, like that idealized version of what Rue wants, and like possibly what Jules would want. It's hard to say.
It's in her special.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, I don't know. Personally, I feel like it does reflect a lot, specifically with her relationship with Rue, just because the fact that her mother was an addict and everything that she was dealing with.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, and how she was like, how that would affect her. Like, let's be honest, in the show, everybody's an addict. Everyone has some kind of addiction.
Some kind of addict.
And it deeply affects how each of them, deal with each other. So her relationship with Rue makes sense. She has that pressure of like basically like like it's a lot to put on a high school kid.
And she's always asking like, is it because of me? Like, did you relapse because of something I did? Like, is this my fault? And with any kid whose parents are split up, or I don't know because my parents aren't addicts, so I can't speak for them, but like I'm sure there is that like, is it my fault? Am I to blame?
Yeah. It's a lot of guilt, like
That's
just a mountain
true.
of guilt to kind of put on anybody, and a lot of responsibility to put on somebody.
It is.
And again, they're in high school, and I think that bears repeating because it's a lot to deal with.
What about with Nate?
That's like, I don't know. That's hard to say. I mean, she does talk about how specifically her femininity, how it's kind of like it's been modeled around men more than even women.
Yes, that's true.
And what she expects men to want and what men would expect of her. And she's kind of like, she's sick of men and she's trying to call off men. I mean, I guess until you see season 2, but at that point she's kind of like, no, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And it's understandable because again, like, or what, at least her version of what she thinks it means to like, I don't know, be a man or to be a woman, or like what it means to
conquer femininity.
Yes, exactly.
Femininity
or masculinity. But like,
she says that.
yeah, she does, because she wants to conquer it by basically conquering men, which is an interesting like idea that I don't think either of us are qualified to really break down.
I don't think she is either, but they make a good point of that as well, where she's like, I don't really know.
Yeah, and that's very important to be able to actually admit that. But we got a whole other season of television to talk about. So let's
Yeah.
wrap these two up. Like, which episode did you actually prefer of the two specials?
Um. Okay, I do appreciate both. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that. I think that Jule's special really suited her and her character, and how she's like more creative and more outgoing, and she's just got a lot of color, and um it felt so like metaphorical. It felt like a dream, but at the same time it felt like a nightmare. And Ruse was very simple and, just black and white, like having conversations. Is this wrong? Is this right? Am I a bad person? Am I a good person? Like it was
Yeah.
very, yeah, just black and white, but also very simple. And I think I liked Ruse better.
No, same. I was gonna say I think I preferred Bruise as well. Again, it's like what I said before. Just really the core
It's
of
the
what the show
honesty.
is. Yeah, it's extremely honest, and like it just makes you kind of reflect even on yourself. Where she's like, at one point when she says like, "Oh, I'm a piece of shit person, so like, what's the point? Like, I'm just not gonna change or whatever. It's just in my DNA." And he tells her like, "Yeah, it is in your DNA. Like, it's literally this is a part of yourself, and you need to accept that." And then saying that you're a piece of shit person is way too easy and also way too harsh. Like, that's probably one of my favorite lines of the whole show. I mean, there's so much, there's so much to quote in this episode, but like those lines in particular where he's like, "That's too easy. You can't just say that. You can't just say like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I'm not going to change. That's just it." Because no, it's like give yourself that forgiveness to be able to take that next step and to actually grow as a person, because it takes more than that. Acknowledgement is definitely the first thing you got to do, but then also you have to grow beyond that. Otherwise, then you kind of are a dick. Like you kind of are a
Yeah.
bit of a piece of shit. But it's like, but even then, it's like it's still you can still understand and sympathize with the person who doesn't want to move past that. Yeah, you're gonna say something.
Yeah, because I think that line does stick with you so much because it's applicable for every character in the show with every problem that is they have. Like, it's not just Rue who says, like, I don't think I'm a good person. Cassie's always crying, like, I don't think I'm a good person. It's just everyone's struggling with what it takes for them to be a good person and what about them makes them a bad person. And it's just kind of like an overwhelming thing. Everyone can connect with it. I do think that, just kind of skipping ahead here to the rating,
Yeah,
but combined Rue special and Jule special together, like for me, that could possibly be in the museum. Like that
yeah,
is just an insane combination.
yeah. No, for real. Like yeah, it's like they feel like such, like really well managed, like companion pieces to each other.
Yeah.
Two sides of like very similar coins at the very least. But like Rue's special though, for me it was like I feel like I want to show this to like everybody, anyone who just like deals with like any kind of like whatever issues you're dealing with in life. Everyone has those like negative thoughts and like those depressive thoughts, and whether you're dealing with addiction or not or whatever your vices or something, everyone kind of gets there. And you kind of need, like I feel like people need to hear this, more
Yeah.
people. Like yes, self-love and everything else is great too, but sometimes you need to be called out on your bullshit. Sometimes you need to like kind of face the music a bit, and then like also then forgive yourself. And so yeah. And then
Yes. And move on and be better.
yeah. And
At
also I
least
love
try.
I love Ali's take on like revolutions and stuff, and kind of how they're kind of safe, especially nowadays. Everyone's got a revolution, but at the same time it's like, is it a revolution? No. Nike's sponsoring your revolution? Probably wrong. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, where would you rate these? Would you want to rate them together, because they kind of do work together so well?
Yeah, I think I would. I had written originally in my notes on the shelf for Rue special and premium streaming for Jules, but I think combined it's on the shelf, especially with where it sits in between season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
Because personally, I know I wasn't on the review for season 1, but I did not like it. Like, I didn't like it at all. I think a lot of the stuff that they're trying to say and a lot of the themes are being missed.
Yeah.
It's easy to get lost in all like the glitter and just like the plethora of just sex and drugs and dicks everywhere. So
Plenty of dicks, lots of dicks.
yeah, it's so easy to get lost. I think that after season 1, them starting with Rue's special first,
Yeah.
and like giving you that like bare bones raw conversation is exactly what they needed to do to kind of ground it more and, you know, reestablish what it is that they're trying to do with Euphoria.
No, that's fair. So we're just gonna put them both.
Heck yeah.
Together?
Yes, I am.
Did you say your rating? I missed
No,
that.
yeah, both together in the museum.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think if I put them together, definitely on the shelf, or like even like maybe even in the museum. Like I think Rue's episode alone.
Commit.
I'm gonna,
Philip's not here. I'll play Philip. Commit.
I'm gonna stay on the shelf for now. I'm gonna give them a little more time before I decide to throw them in the
Yeah,
museum.
well, we can't both be in the museum.
Okay, so now moving on to Euphoria season 2.
Yes.
This one had a lot going on, and I just kind of want to start off with what Bevan said about the season leading into it. The season is a lot darker. It delves into these characters' realities, which represent some people's experiences. Not everyone's, but we've always been concerned about selling a lifestyle that is euphoria or glamorizing a certain kind of lifestyle. Zendaya once said to me that there are 2 versions of Euphoria, the TikTok version and the real story that digs a lot deeper. Part of that motivation behind the storyline this season was to get really deep and to move away from some of the social media versions of what Euphoria was becoming. I feel like that's really important because I feel like this season took a lot of the criticisms and a lot of the maybe the issues that people had with season 1 and really kind of learned from them and kind of expanded on them. There were some letdowns. There's some things that I think they could have done better, but for the most part, I think it was like, for me at least, a big improvement from the first season.
No, totally. I agree. Like I said, I did not like the first season. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was like, I watched the whole thing. I had to know what was going to happen with that freaking psychopath Nate. So
yeah, it's very engaging.
It was engaging.
Yeah.
It was engaging. But I'm probably not going to watch season 1 again. Season 2, though. Season 2. Wow.
Yeah, like I think they expanded a lot. Let's start off at the beginning. So we start off this one with the New Year's Eve party, and kind of specifically with like Cassie and Nate, and their relationship becomes one of the most primary focuses throughout this season, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hated.
I think a lot of people hate it.
It's been like apparently like one of the biggest contentious parts of this season. Like a lot of people were either like totally on board or like against it. I don't know, but
you kind of hate it.
Yeah, I kind of hated it.
Tell me why.
Just because I don't know, man. It's like I understand. I get what they're going for. Like it kind of makes sense. I think it does track with Casey's character and how she is like her addiction is love. Right.
Oh, she is a lovesick with child with puppy dog eyes.
She just wants to find someone who's gonna give her love, and like she says later in the season, like she thinks it's the most beautiful thing to be able to devote your entire self to like someone's love, and that's great. But again, that is a very naive like understanding of what love is.
They are children.
Yeah, and I think that's also again important to emphasize. They are still in high school. At one point, like the character, I forget her name, but she's the lady who Maddy's like house sitting for.
Samantha.
Yeah, when she's like, you're going through all this shit, but you're only 18. Yeah. And that's okay. If we're having this conversation when you're 40, then there's like a problem. You know?
I'm like so glad Maddy has her.
Yeah, no, for real. Like she needs that person to like really ground her, which again, that's interesting. We'll get to Maddy a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll get to Maddy. There's so much to be said about Maddy.
Yeah, she's kind of grown, but
she's like barely present. We'll get there.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
So Cassie and Nate, do you like just starting it with them? Do you think that I don't know? It seemed kind of sudden.
Well, like with their just like romance immediately?
Yeah, just like immediately. Just in one night, he finds her at the outside the stinking convenience shop eating donuts like a loser. Just kidding. And then just picks her up, and next thing you know, that's just it. They're just smitten.
Yeah, they're smitten.
They're just
I don't
smitten.
know. I think It kind of tracks. I mean, like in season 1, they've established how peculiar Nate is about girls and
Yes,
stuff,
exactly.
and how it kind of makes sense that, like, again, Cassie is the kind of girl who would like completely devote herself to him, and that's like ultimately, I feel like that's what he's really looking for.
Worship.
Yeah, he just wants to be worshipped. That's his whole thing. That he just wants someone who's going to be completely devoted to him and basically do anything and everything that he wants and says. And
Interesting.
that is kind of like what she wants in a sense. Like she wants to be able to devote herself, you know? She wants to be the person who is completely enthralled by somebody, that she's willing to give her life for them or whatever. So kind of makes sense.
Do you think that Nate really wants that? Or do you think that, with his crazy person mind, that he immediately saw it as an opportunity to get back at Maddy?
That maybe. Honestly, maybe, because like
I
he
don't know.
yeah, that's a hard thing, is like it reminds me of what Cad says at one point when he's like, I know your mom's fucked up, like she's basically been like cheating on me. Your brother's like
Oh, Cal, yeah.
yeah, sorry, Cal, yeah. Yeah, he's fucked up. His porn made my jaw drop. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck,
Oh my
man? I
God,
love that he
that's
calls him out. He's
awful.
like, what are you watching, man? And then he's like, and then you, Nate, he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, you.
There is something wrong with
Yeah, he's like,
you.
there is something extra going on with you in your mind where I don't even know. I've lived with you. I'm your father, and I don't have no fucking clue what is going on with you. Like you scare the shit out of me, and you're my biggest regret. And I think that makes sense because like even as an audience, I'm like trying to figure out what the fuck Nate wants or what he's trying to do most of the time, and I'm like, I can't figure it out. Is that good writing or is it bad writing? I don't know.
We'll
It's
see.
at the very least it's compelling. It's driving me forward. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do.
It's true.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. But also at the New Year's party, we'll get back to Cassie and Nate, I'm sure, at some point. But Elliot gets introduced. New characters.
Yeah, Elliot gets immediately thrown in. Rue is on a bender. She's just looking to get high. She immediately engages with this guy who's already getting high. And they
She
like,
finds him. He's like at the washing machine.
yeah, just snorting whatever it is he's snorting. And yeah, he's an interesting character.
Yeah, to start to a perfect friendship.
Yeah, yeah. He's a very he's an interesting one. I like him most of the time. Yeah, I know his song at the end was a little long.
I knew exactly what you meant when you said most of the time. I was like, you thought they shouldn't have included a song.
I didn't hate the song. Honestly,
No,
I
the
think
song was fine. It was moving.
yeah, it was very
was.
moving. It was like well placed and timed, but I don't know.
It was a little long.
It was a little too long. I
mean,
think.
I think it was a little too long for him to say, like, I'm still working on it. I'm like, that was a full song. Like, we just
Yeah, dude.
experienced your music video.
Yeah, for real. Like, if he had just been like done like maybe a couple chords and like a little bit, like you kind of get the taste of it. You're like, then you'd have a million people being like, "Where's that song, man? Is it gonna be on SoundCloud or whatever?"
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna ask, in regards to, I know you're hosting this video, but now I've got all these questions.
No, that's fine.
But Elliot, do you think that his introduction, like just having him as a new character, is necessary? Like, I do see like different roles that he plays, or just at least a role he plays in terms of Jules and Rue's relationship. Like, I've noticed he kind of provides that thing for them that each of them are hiding from each other. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, I get what you mean. Totally.
Like, Jules really likes having sex with men, and Rue really likes doing drugs. And, Rue is doing drugs with Elliot and hiding behind Jules' back, and then same thing, Jules starts trying to
and like
get
Rue,
funky.
like one of the biggest issues with Rue and Jules' relationship is like kind of Rue's lack of sexuality, which Elliot does bring up, where he's like, she's not a very sexual person, is she? And she's like, what? No, she totally is. And it's like, no, not really.
Not really.
And I mean, I think part of it is just because, again, about the drug abuse and everything, it kind of negatively affects that. So I'm sure she would be more if she was like healthier.
Sober. Yeah.
If she was sober and healthier and had more time to recover and everything. Like, again, But who knows? Maybe she just won't be. Maybe she's kind of more slightly asexual.
Who knows? Because she's on drugs, so it's hard to tell.
It is. Like, oh, she's like, it's like she's basically eating out my ankle or whatever.
Yeah, don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah. But and then for Jules, like what she's dealing with, where again she wants that, but she wants like also that connection with someone else who's kind of a little dangerous. She seems to kind of like that, where someone's
That's true.
and Elliot kind of fits that kind of like to a T, where he's
He
dangerous,
has face tattoos, baby.
yeah, but he's not like as far gone as someone like Rue, who is like entire life is kind of in shambles. So it's kind of like that perfect balance.
Yeah, he does the drugs, but also he's not. Oh no.
I mean, he's
Going in
definitely
and out of rehab.
Yeah, he's definitely still like an addict. He's got an addiction problem, but
he's not going to stop.
Yeah, but there's different levels to addiction. You know, like it's like again, there's a very big difference.
Again, don't do drugs.
Yeah, regardless. Yeah.
We're not saying that he's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's obviously got issues, but I'm just saying, in maybe Jules's eyes, she's like, that's kind of the sweet spot.
Okay. Okay. Anything else about the New Year's party you want to bring up?
No, I mean, it was very tense. Like, it was shot really well, especially the scene where Cassie's like in the bathtub, and it was kind of satisfying, when she like threw the towel. Maddy threw the towel on her face.
Maddy, like, okay, all right. I'm sure we all remember, because if you're listening to this, you watch the show. But like, Maddy goes pee and there's no toilet paper, so she wipes it on a towel and then tosses it in the bathtub, and it gets stuck on Cassie's face.
That was pretty great. Again, very satisfying. And then to cap it off, the most satisfying moment. Well, actually, there's two moments.
Oh. Wait.
First, we get the introduction of what do people Flexi.
Oh my god, dude, Flexi.
Fez and Lexi. They make such a sweet couple, and I mean, there's definitely issues there because he's a literal drug dealer,
and she's so far
very sweet,
and
mostly innocent.
Pretty innocent.
Yeah, pretty innocent person compared to, Fez, who just
the most innocent.
Grew up in the life. It's a very hard life. But beyond that, you see their interactions, very sweet, very compassionate. But also through a lot of it, he's really eyeballing Nate. Just like looking at this dude, because Nate just pretty much punked him on his own own turf. He was just like, oh, you're a half a retard and you dropped out of high school, you can barely spell whatever. He's just like, he's really talking shit to him when he's telling him like, you need to back off, dude.
Yeah, and then he gets raided because Nate has his place raided.
Yeah, so understandably, Fez is pretty pissed. So he goes over there, and it's like, dare I say, one of the most satisfying beatdowns in film television history.
Violence is not the answer.
No, we're not saying you need to be violent.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was like so good. I was like saying it like in season 1. I was like, man, I really hope Nate gets his comeuppance, and I was like, thank God.
Yeah, like I was worried that that it would come off wrong or like be problematic, but like it was just. You saw justice being rained down on like the worst character in the show, it was awesome.
Like a true sociopath who's like threatened people's lives. He savagely beat the crap out of Tyler. Let's not forget about that he
oh my god, poor Tyler.
Put Tyler in the hospital for a few days as well.
And then made him admit to
assaulting a minor.
Oh my god.
While being put in prison. So it's like, yeah.
Yes, beat him to heck. But I was concerned. I'm sorry.
No, go.
I was concerned though, because at this point we're like first episode, still New Year's Eve party, and we're seeing this super satisfying, like probably a fan favorite character, Fezco.
Yeah.
Right? Getting his justice and beating the heck out of like one of the worst people we've met. But this is like the first episode. Usually the heroes don't win until the end.
Yeah.
So it made me really like anxious about what was going to come.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Because it's like, yeah, exactly. Like this usually would be like a season finale kind of thing. But it's starting off kind of immediately makes you think like, oh, is Fez going to be okay? And we'll get to that and what happens at the end. And there's a lot of speculation. But Yeah. So one of the big storylines this season was the love triangle between Cassie, Nate, and Maddy, which for me, and I think for you, one of the most frustrating aspects of this show, where I was like, oh god, high school drama, romance, BS, like whatever, man. Like it's a bit much.
You know
Uh,
what? But we're here for it.
yeah, it's like if you're gonna do it, at least have it be done well and compelling, and shoot it interestingly, and that's what the show definitely pulls off. Because I'm like, I want to strangle like each of these characters at certain points. Where I'm just like, oh my god, you can stop being so stupid. But like, you kind of like, at least it's again very compelling, and you want to like reach to the screen, but it's done well. Yeah. So let's see. So when it comes to like Cassie's character in particular, like does this make her more just unlikable? Is this consistent with her characterization from season 1? I know we kind of touched on that before, but like I don't know. What do you think this really does for her as a character?
You know, I spent a lot of time thinking about this. It was something that we said we were going to talk about. We're going to talk about Cassie and Nate and Maddy, and like Cassie's her best friend. Maddie's her best friend. She loves Maddy. Would she do this?
Yeah.
I decided on, this makes sense. I know that not a lot of people agree,
Yeah.
like, why would Cassie do this? This is so not in line with who she is from season 1. But I think season 1 is just setting her up to be in a position like this. I've got my notes here, actually. Okay. So in season 1, she does say, like, I'm pretty sure it was season 1, at the dance.
Yeah,
right?
that's season 1.
Okay, that's season 1.
That's like the finale.
Lexi's like, hey, so like, how do you like sleep with somebody? What do you do about that? And Cassie's like, well, usually they approach you. So like, she's totally used to people coming up to her, and she's she's adorable. She's got big boobs. She dresses like a hoe. Like,
she gets dudes
she gets attention.
Yeah, dudes flock to her.
And she's addicted to it. She loves being loved. And then with stinking Nate, man, he, first of all, did not want her in season 1. Not just because...
I think that's like the biggest branch of like, I guess maybe the change in characterization possibly. It's because like how much shit he was talking about her in the first season.
Yeah.
Like episode like 1, he's like, she's a whore.
Right
Fuck
out
her
the
like
gate.
a whore and get out of there. And like that's it.
He's such a creep.
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit. But like his view on Cassie in particular, and like the fact that like one of the reasons why he liked Maddy so much is because he thought that she was like this untouched version, and Cassie is very much not that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But again, it still kind of makes sense. But I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, that's totally fine. It does make sense. See, it does make sense. I know it's like a controversial opinion, but like, okay, Nate didn't like her at first, right?
Yeah.
And then once she sees him start to like her, like maybe since he wasn't like first approaching her like all these other guys and like easy to get like all these other guys, maybe his attention is just more valuable to her. And at the same time, like she's all like, while she's hooking up with him, she's like, I'm trying to take care of myself and like be single for a while. I think that that's almost like a withdrawal for her, the same way Rue is going through a withdrawal with drugs at some point. And like she just like becomes more and more desperate for his love to the point where she's waking up at 4 a.m. every day trying to get his attention.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Because like, again, I think he also likes women who want to be desired. That's just one of his things. He likes that other guys like her, and for him to be able to be like, no, well, she's with me. She's mine. Yeah, because his addiction is power, right?
Yes.
It's like that kind of lust and chase for like dominance over other people.
Alpha male stuff.
Yeah, that stupid alpha mindset, bro. That's his whole mentality. Yeah, so I think it mostly tracks, but now like with his relationship with Maddy, and specifically like when it's like its climax when he eventually threatens her with the gun, very intense. terrifying. And it reminds you, like, yeah, don't forget, Nate is a real piece of shit. Not only is he just like a dick, like, and just like an asshole for all the ways he, kind of treats Maddy and all the manipulation and sleeping with her best, like Maddy's best friend or whatever. But also he's a psycho because he pulls out a gun and threatens her. So like,
dude, and then after he puts the gun down, he's like, "I was joking." Like,
he says I was joking.
no!
That's yeah, dude. Yeah, hilarious, bro. That was so funny. It's a joke, bro. It's just a joke. Oh, seriously, so bad.
Insane person. Yeah. Oh my god. And it's like, it's crazy, man, with Cassie and Nate and Maddy. Like,
so
I'm surprised. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, sorry. You go. I was like sorting through my notes here.
I'm surprised Maddy didn't like immediately beat the heck out of Cassie, or even. Well, the thing is, she can't attack Nate, so who else is she gonna beat up?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna like get to. Is like Maddy's vengeance. Like, when do you think that's coming? Because they make a pretty big build up for her in season 1. That like you don't fuck with Maddy, and even in season 2, Nate sounds like he's genuinely scared of Maddy, like of what her reaction's gonna be, and so is like Cassie to an extent. She kind of goes into that, but like, so do you think that Maddy is like actually gonna get like some vengeance later on? Do you think she's actually gonna be like a serious threat to them, or do you think this like the kind of worst is behind them because she seems to be kind of growing past that or trying to get past it?
I was going to kind of lead into that. I really think no, that's fine. Like, I do think she's shown like a lot of growth in this season. Not just like having a mentor in the lady she babysits for, Samantha, but also like she's hasn't been violent. And I don't want to God, I don't want to say this, but I feel like
what?
Never mind. I was gonna say I feel like she's been kind of almost like neutered by Nate, like she used to have a bite and now she is just beaten, like she's been choked and like threatened with a gun, like she's more vulnerable than ever. But also, we were talking about this before recording, actually.
Yeah.
So with Maddy, like everyone has their issue, right? Like Cassie is lovesick and Jules likes, I don't know, sex, and Rue likes drugs.
They all have their different addictions.
Yeah, everyone has their different addictions. With Maddy, I think it's like her image of looking tough and stuff,
like,
and
her vanity.
Her vanity, she liked how Nate would buy her like the fur coat in season 1.
Yeah.
She was again like shown to be really tough and like talking shit to people, beating them up. But really she was crying in Cassie's bed as a kid, and really she's just, a vulnerable girl who did love Nate. She says it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the quote she says early when she says, like, the thing about confidence is that like no one knows the difference when it's like fake or not.
Exactly.
And I think that's like obviously a huge part of her character, where maybe she is kind of just fronting all the time, like she's this badass person who's just gonna like always kick your ass and always get there or whatever. And she's definitely, she's
loud.
She's lots of chisma, but like, is she actually like the person?
Tough.
Yeah, she really is tough as she thinks. Yeah, and maybe not.
I don't think she is. Even Jules at some point is like, Maddy is so sweet, and Kat is always trying to comfort her, and it's just like, I think now she's just gonna run away from town. Like, I think she's just gonna leave town and try to start a new life and be a better person. I think that she's getting out. Yeah.
That's probably good. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope she does. I'm kind of rooting for her now. I hated her at the beginning, but...
So this episode, this season had a few less like character-defining intros, I guess, compared to season 1, where it's like a lot of your introduction to these new characters and everything. But there were a couple. Do you have a favorite one in particular? There's like Nate had his own kind of thing, but like more character-focused ones. There's one like on Fez and his upbringing.
The one with Maddy that we talked about.
Yeah.
She's talking about confidence.
Exactly. And then there was Cal's intro as well, which was a big character reveal going into his backstory. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone who's seen this show can agree. Yeah. I don't know if I'm just talking out of my ass, but I think Cal's and then Fez's intro. I think those were the two top ones.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's like Fez is kind of it's hard to say, but I think his just slightly edged out Cal's intro in terms of like my favorite, because just I don't know. I liked Cal's a lot. Like I think it was arguably a lot like deeper. Like there was a lot going on, and definitely had more effects like going on throughout the show. But Fez's intro was I don't know. It was just badass.
I would make the argument that Fez's intro does the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why did you like it? Is it because you love things like Casino?
Yeah. This was very much like you can see the showrunner's love for Scorsese as it goes on, because it was a lot like Casino. There was jumping around, the fast cuts, the edits and everything, the moving cameras, like the walk and
also
talks.
the gangsters.
Yeah, the gangsters. The fact that they're playing like Harry Nelson's like jumping into the fire. I was like, oh, okay. This is like Goodfellas now as well.
It was
like,
awesome.
Yeah, it was
so much
a
fun.
well done sequence.
Yeah.
Like,
plus you get to learn a lot about, how Fez ended up the way he is,
and Ashtray.
And kind of to an extent the grandma. Ouch.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. But with Cal's intro, we get to see his backstory, his romance with his friend, the heartbreak, the kind of the mentality that he was raised with. You can see with his dad. Just like those two quick scenes you see with his dad, you immediately understand. Again, this was the 80s. This was like not an acceptable time to be
openly gay.
Yeah, openly gay at all. So then they have to eventually go sneak off to a gay bar that his friend takes him to. And they can finally kind of have that true moment of intimacy and love and feel accepted and not be scared.
Going to cry, dude. They start singing together. It's the sweetest thing. And like in the intro, it's so messed up because like, I don't know, it feels messed up to say it out loud. That sounds like something Rue said, but so they go out they have this wonderful night together, right? Just to recap. And then the next day he finds out that his girlfriend is pregnant with Nate's brother.
Yeah.
And then it's just like any chance that he had of, I don't know, going out there, being with Derek, having like a future with him is just taken from him.
Completely dashed. It's tragic. Which kind of eventually leads into his finale, what happens, how his story wraps up, and his climactic moment when he eventually gets kicked out of the bar that he revisits again, being a weirdo by kissing the bar stool.
Oh God, that's so disgusting.
I was like, that's gross, man. That's 20 years worth of ass that's been on that bar stool.
They don't clean it enough for you to be able to put your face on it.
No. But what do you think do you think what Cal did was right by eventually leaving his family?
Oh, in the end, not in his intro?
No, not in his intro.
I think yes. I don't know how that's going to be received.
No. Well, I mean, we'll see.
Okay, I mean, I'm not saying that he should have like whipped out his dick and pissed everywhere.
No,
I really don't think that was the best. But I think him being honest with his family, especially the Jacobs family, they're so secretive, And I think even like Nate's mom says like, your dad was against therapy, he didn't want to talk about problems. I think that's just, they're just holding in all of this just negativity.
That's why they're all so fucked up.
Exactly. That's why they're all so fucked up. So I think that him showing them how to like open up and be okay and be vulnerable is good.
Yeah.
And I do think, just talking about the vulnerability, this is like the one time, at least like, okay, first of all, I'm just gonna thank God season 2, not nearly as many dicks, but he does whip out his dick. And I think that it made so much sense though.
In this one in particular, yeah.
In this particular scene.
This particular dick, yes.
Yes. This dick is fine. But yeah, it was like he's vulnerable. It's all out in the open,
Yeah.
The dick measuring contest is over. This is how big his dick is.
Yes.
Metaphorically.
Metaphorically, literally.
Literally, figuratively.
Yeah. No, I agree. Because it's like, again, it's his first time he's ever actually been honest with his family and probably honest with himself and like all just out right there, just in the open. He can't hold it in anymore. He was having flashbacks. He was probably reliving all these experiences and he's just like, fuck it, dude. Here it is, just laying it out on the table. And it just, yeah, it is like a terrible kind of way to handle it.
No,
of course.
not good. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, don't drink and
No.
drive. Don't get into fights in bars. Don't try to wrestle strangers. Don't do that. Don't just immediately piss on your foyer and yell at your children and call them out on their weird porn.
Not the way
These
to
are-
go about it.
Yeah, these are conversations to be had.
But do be open about what you're dealing with.
Yeah, he was honest about it, and he was like, yeah, again, very expressive. Like, look, here's just the reality of the situation. This sucks. I like, and the fact that like, I even like the part where he says like, he's like, yeah, I slept with I've slept with men, whatever, like a bunch of different men, and then his dad's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you say that? And he's like, you know what? It's like, if I said I slept with women, you would have been like 1/10 of your reaction, but the fact that I'm saying it's men is like somehow so much worse. He's like, so what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, check yourself.
Yeah. So, but it's just like, again, it's nice that he's open about it and that he's able to
Yeah.
actually kind of accept it, and then he leaves. And a lot of people need to understand that sometimes leaving really is the best solution. Again, he could have done it more gracefully, but like, it's kind of the best thing he's done on the show, in my opinion, where I'm just like, yeah, again, understand the situation is wrong and then leave. And then I think that's really reflective, like when you see Nate's mom, I forgot her name, I'm sorry. It was Marsha. Marsha's reaction
the
afterwards.
fox.
was drinking, obviously, and she's definitely going to be dealing, because this is not just like an easy thing to accept, but she's clearly happier. And then later when we see Cal, he's also clearly happier too. They can finally both just drop all their pretenses and just be like, yeah, that sucked. You know?
Yeah.
They can finally just be honest with themselves. And she is, again, very honest when she's having that conversation with Nate about like everything, you know?
It's so true. It's like a weight off their shoulders. It's like it's all out in the open now.
Yeah. And I love the part where again, she's like, she's even joking about Nate choking the girl.
Oh, God.
She's like, man, I wanted to choke her. She's like,
Don't get so mad that you choke me.
Yeah. He's like, hey, and then Nate again, he's like, his reaction, he's like just that kind of anger. And then she's even like, I don't know why you're so angry. What happened? What darkness came into you? And he doesn't admit what else happened. And again, probably for the best, because that would have definitely kind of soured her
Her
happiness.
mood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's been like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Don't sour my buzz, bro.
Yeah, but the fact that like she's again confronting him about his anger, his issues, and all the stuff that all of them deal with. It's, I don't know. It was very refreshing to see, and it kind of makes you happy. It's like, go Marsha, go on, get out there, Marsha, get on Bumble or whatever, do something.
Still a fox.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so let's move on to the drug dealers and a lot of the drug escapades that happened in this season, which there was a lot.
Yeah,
And-
there are more than season 1.
Yeah, and shit got real in a lot of different ways. And really, I think just again, that really just elevated it past season 1. So, first, there's Fez's and Ash's intro with their grandma and how it shows what a G she was, like a legit G, shooting kneecaps, making deals, and really just introducing them into the family business. Like, I don't know, what does that tell you about like their grandma, or like how maybe that shaped both Fez's and Ashtray's like mentality and everything?
I think that they grew up learning to be really good drug dealers.
Yeah, that's true.
It's interesting because I do think that it shows that Fez is a victim of his environment and upbringing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it shows how he's not a victim. It shows how he learns about family and the tightness of family and how to take care of Ashtray and,
Yeah, he seems to kind of to embody a lot of like the best parts of like
Of the grandma.
of the grandma.
Yeah, totally.
And also kind of absolves himself of a lot of the worst parts of her, which is like her more violent tendencies. You never see Fez get violent,
Well, except that one time. But
yeah,
it was totally warranted.
yeah. It's
He's
like
right. He
without
deserved it.
necessity. Again, it's still not exactly like advocating the violence, because of course there's always better solutions, but I'll say for a drug dealer who was raised by a drug dealer who kind of like lost his mom and his upbringing, he could be doing light years worse. He could have ended up like Mouse, okay? Just saying. But like, again, he's doing much better. And the fact that he took in Ashtray, he's like his brother. He's very much his brother, and he brought him up together. And yeah, maybe he could have taught Ashtray how to like, deal with his feelings a little better though.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's because if Fez didn't get hit in the head, then he would be more angry.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But also we see that Ashtray is the one who he murdered Mouse, and also nearly broke the nose off of Custer.
And also beat the heck out of Cal.
Yeah. Also hits him with a shotgun, which, Cal, what the fuck were you thinking, man? What was your plan there? He literally just is like staking outside of a drug dealer's house with a gun. What were you expecting to happen, man? You think that they were just going to let you just watch them? What was he going to do? But
I don't know.
But that was one of my favorite scenes, though, from the whole season, though, where he's just like, they're all just trying to figure out what's happening.
You're like, I'm so confused.
He's like, I'm confused, man. Beautiful. But yeah, so we see that happen. Fez's relationship with Lexi, it just kind of advances. You kind of see they kind of just bring out the best of each other, which is
true.
Super rare in this show.
It is very rare.
Arguably, like maybe the only relationship that's like that on this show, really, right?
Yes, and okay, so I don't know. I feel like they're the two most decent people in season 1. They were my favorites. Lexi's hilarious and great. She dressed up like Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Fez is a decent person. He is. And also, he respects the heck out of females. I assume that has something to do with being raised by his grandma, but he's super respectful of the females.
Yes.
So, them getting together, at first I was worried it was just fan service, right? Because they're obviously the two most likable characters. But it does seem like every relationship here in the show is like tragic in its own way. And I think that they kind of nailed that, just because not only are they both really decent and you want them to be together because they should be together,
but they're also kind of terrible for each other.
They're so different. Like Lexi's going to probably get into a good college and be a great writer or something. And Fez, he's a drug dealer.
Yeah.
And a good drug dealer. And I mean, he took out Mouse, or at least he and his people. And I feel like, I don't know, before having watched this season, I thought that he was probably going to climb the ladder as a drug dealer too.
Yeah, so did I. I was expecting Mouse to just be like, to see what he did and like award him for his like, I don't know, his... How do you say, like
initiative?
Exactly, yeah, his initiative, like his go-to spirit, his drive. He's like, oh great, man, like you went out and got the money anyways. Congrats, bro.
Hey, good job. I like you.
But no, he was also probably just gonna kill him. But yeah, so it's like, again, yeah, they're a very tragic relationship because they do seem doomed to fail.
It's so sad. I like them for each other so much.
We don't know what will happen now, especially now that Ashtray is dead. Fez is probably going to go to jail at least, and then maybe prison. We don't know. He could have time. This could be like a big, like, this could be like a start over for him. He could basically try to, like, reset his life. And Lexi could be a big part of that. She could help him like kind of rebuild. Who knows?
Don't get my hopes up. I want that to be true.
Or it could really go the other way. We don't know. Because again, losing.
Keep getting my hopes up. I want that to be true.
I'm just saying, like, again, losing your brother, watching him, be killed in front of you, which was just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
like ultimately, you see, Ashtray was still a child.
He was still a child. And there's no way that Fez doesn't blame himself for that, because Fez basically raised him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Again, that's kind of where it leans to me in my head, where I'm just thinking like, okay, it seems to me like he would want to break out of that lifestyle. This feels like the final straw.
True.
His grandma's probably going to go into some kind of like nursing home or something. They're going to put her in some kind of care unit. Ashtray's gone. All of his stuff is probably gone. So who knows? He'll probably maybe go to prison for a bit, or who knows what could happen. Maybe they'll try to get him to flip on Lori, who, by the way, the best sociopathic drug kingpin or queen pin I've seen in a long time.
Queen pin.
Terrifying.
She's so scary.
She's like the perfect, just like stone-faced, like, she's like, I don't get angry. Like, I don't think I've ever been angry. Well, no, I've never been angry.
Yeah, that's not human.
So much scarier than even like a character like Mouse. Mouse is scary, but he's kind of like that loud scary where it's like, oh, that guy's just yelling. You know, you can kind of avoid him or something. You can kind of get around that guy. But she's like quiet scary.
Yeah.
That's gonna slip behind you in a parking lot and stab you.
It's like the difference between a dog and a cat. The dog will bark at you. The cat will wait till you're walking by and then sneak out of the shadows and stab you.
Yeah, and then trip you as you're walking down the stairs. You slide and you drop all your soup. Fucking cats, I swear.
Hey, wait a second. Sounds personal.
But no, okay. So there's a few great scenes with her and Rue. But I think most iconically, there is a scene when Rue is trying to get out of, like, she's having her huge breakdown, of course.
Ooh, the withdrawal, yes.
The withdrawal. And this is after she had already, like, Lori had fronted her, what was it, 10 grand? 10 grand's worth of drugs?
10 grand.
10 grand. I don't know about you.
Suitcase full of drugs.
That is a lot of money and a lot of drugs to try and, flip and have. And when I saw her get all that stuff, I'm not gonna lie, my first thought was like, shit, she's gonna overdose again.
No, totally.
There's no way that she doesn't OD again. Like, you don't just give a drug addict a suitcase full of drugs and to just be like, yeah, she's gonna go and be a great entrepreneur and flip all that. Like,
I don't think so. I don't think Lori thought so either.
No, because again, she gives her the very blatant rules of like, if you fuck me over on this, I'm gonna sell you to some guys who will basically turn you into like a prostitute or whatever and, human traffic you. She's going to human traffic her.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, I'm getting my money back, and that's how I'll get my money. I don't give a shit.
No, she did not sugarcoat it.
No. So then we have that scene where when she does come back, it's like worst case scenario for Rue. She's completely in withdrawal. Terrifying. Has literally nowhere else really to go at that point.
She's tried everyone.
And she gives her exactly what she needs and exactly what would be perfect to manipulate her with. And I think you were mentioning it as we were watching it together. There was that fantastic shot of where you see Rue in the background out of focus as like she's trying to put her in the bathtub because she's like puking and she's kind of going through the withdrawal and she's like and she's trying to get her to go into the bath. But I don't know. Do you want to describe it? Like,
oh, sure. Yeah. So basically, like you said, Lori's trying to get Rue in the bath, and she's again speaking with that like super monotone, emotionless voice that she does, and she's caring for Rue during this hard time. But you don't see that happening. You just hear that happening, and it's out of focus, and the only thing in focus, the one thing on both their minds, is the morphine.
Yes. The morphine being the tool that Lori could use to basically manipulate and put Rue under her thumb and eventually probably sell her to trafficking and whatever.
Yeah. Even though she's physically taking care of Rue at this time, she doesn't care for Rue.
Yeah.
Yes,
and the camera basically shows us exactly what this is.
Exactly
this is what it's really about.
It holds this like shot for how long would you say? Like it held it for a while.
Like I want to say like a minute and a half, like maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell, but it was very long.
So heavily emphasized, but like I love it.
She pulls it out first. She leaves it there because she knows that she's going to ask for it. Walks over, is helping her out, and then of course Rue caves, and she's like, "I'll give you, I'll take whatever it is like you've got. Just give it to me." And she's like, oh, okay, like
Oh,
I'll go
let
get
me
it.
go get it. Oh, I have to go find it. That old thing, it's right here where I set it up because you're being set up.
Yeah. So, to just circle back with Fez and Ashtray, I know we just talked about them. What do you think of their actual fate, their eventual fate, how it all capped off and everything?
Oh, sorry, that kind of fell out of left field. So part of me feels like it's exactly where, I don't know, it ended like exactly where you would expect it to. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
see any of it coming, to be honest, but like the signs are all there. Ash attacked like 2 different people moving into this. There's no way Ash isn't gonna like end up in juvie at some point. He's been very violent throughout the whole seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with Fez, like, I don't know. I mean, it seems like he kind of wants out. He was wearing a tuxedo and stuff, but also
He had a letter for
he had a
Lexi
letter for
too.
Lexi. Oh my god, and flowers. It was so cute. I'm gonna cry. No, but also like with him trying to take the fall for Ashtray,
Yeah.
like that's also something you would totally expect from his character. Like all the actions are in line with their characters. But what do you think?
I think, yeah, it's tragic. I hope, like we said before, like that this eventually leads to Fez to like break out of this life. But I think it all tracks with like how their characters would actually react and how they would be. So yeah, man, I don't know. Very, very sad. Okay, but let's get into one of my
More.
favorite episodes.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, what?
I thought you were gonna say more Lori and Rue.
Oh yeah, well yeah. How do you want to finish that? Okay. Oh yes, because we didn't even finish. Sorry, that was totally. I left. I was going down my list and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to ask that.
That's okay.
But yeah, with Lori and Rue, yeah, the imagery we're talking about, the fantastic
Imagery.
imagery. There's one of the best parts of that is you get to see the imagery of like the bird cages
The
that are
bird cages.
all throughout her apartment. We get to see how she's got these like these beautiful birds all trapped up and closed up into one spot, and then we have that perfect shot of Rue standing in the hallway as she's trying to figure out how to get the fuck out of this apartment where she's like framed with all those like pillars.
Like little bars, little reeling bars.
Yeah.
Looks like a cage. That's all I'm saying.
And then it's an extremely tense scene too when you see her trying to like
Escape.
Yeah, just escape in general. Like she's looking at all the keys. She's trying to figure out the locks. There's
She's
some
like,
kind of locked door at the end of the hallway, which I don't think it's too much to presume that it could possibly be prostitutes or something locked in there. Who knows? What do you think?
I didn't even think about that. I just thought, I don't know, she kept the suitcases full of drugs and a locked door, so maybe there's more locked doors with drugs, but I didn't. Oh my god, is she keeping prostitutes in there?
I wouldn't be surprised. She straight up says she's like human trafficking people and stuff.
That's
like
true. Oh my god.
it could be that could be something that we definitely. I mean, that storyline is not over.
No, that storyline's not over.
That's definitely going to carry over to season 3, and
I
we can
think-
get into that.
I think
Yeah.
some storylines are over. I don't know if McKay is ever coming back. I don't know if
Doesn't
Cal is
seem
ever
like it.
coming back.
Yeah.
But Lori is gonna be in season 3. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Rue
She's
still
come-
owes her like 10K.
Yeah, 9K maybe.
8K maybe.
8 something.
I don't
Still,
know.
A lot
Give
of
or
money.
take, a
that
lot
high
of
sc-
money.
Yeah, high schooler does not have, unless you're Cat, maybe. Which Cat totally got dropped this season too, allegedly because of like behind the scenes issues or something.
In season 2?
Or yeah. Well, I mean, she
Oh.
did have some storyline, but they definitely did not focus on her enough, or as much as they did in season 1.
So
Obviously.
true. Just her with Ethan and how she doesn't like Ethan.
It was
Hey,
so
their
frustrating.
breakup, dude.
Oh, kind of just fuck her, dude. That was like oh god, that
Yeah.
kind of made me sick. I was like, you're a dick, dude.
If you're listening to this and you've watched all of Euphoria, which I'm sure you have, or else why would you be listening
yeah,
to this?
and then we spoiled the shit out of everything.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments. Do you care about Kat anymore? Did you ever? Like, is she just an asshole now after what she did with Ethan?
I've seen a lot of people that were really invested in her, and they were pretty disappointed. The fact
I
that they dropped her.
was. I thought she was going to do better, but just her in season 2, man, her breakup with Ethan, I feel so terrible about
The
it. She
fact that
sucks.
she couldn't just be straight with him and be like, look, this just isn't working out. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just not invested or whatever. She just really highlights her immaturity and just all the issues she's dealing with. And man, I think Ethan's final line was like kind of perfect retort to what she said, where she's like, "Oh, we breaking up with me? Oh, I didn't see that coming." He's like, "Yeah, neither did I." Like, just ouch. He was so sweet and he was nice to her, and he's kind of like exactly what you would want, but definitely not what she was looking for at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into Rue's breakdown, episode 5, and
Oh
all
my
its glory.
god.
Honestly, really, really good episode, in my opinion. Probably one of my favorites of the whole season. It was just basically, it got so real at a certain
It got
point.
so real.
It
I
was yeah, I don't know if you've ever dealt with anybody who's dealt with addiction or any kind of personality disorders. It can be pretty rough, and it felt incredibly raw and real, and just the emotions, and what Zendaya's performance just knocked it out of the park. I think everyone in there was like killer, but like she just she carried that entire episode on her back. And I don't know, it was extremely touching and heartbreaking and just frustrating to watch. But yeah, it felt so just real. I keep coming back to that, but it
no,
was
but because
very
that's what
real.
it was. Because that was is exactly the word you would use.
Do you think it was necessary to show all this like in that episode? And do you think that, and basically how drug addiction can affect you and everyone else around you? Or do you think it was maybe excessive or just like maybe too hard to watch for people?
No, I think it was hard to watch. I think it was hard to watch. I feel choked up now just talking about it and thinking about it. It's like it was hard to watch. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think it was necessary, not only because of the backlash that I'm sure the show has received about, um, I guess like they said, like the TikTok version of Euphoria,
Yeah.
the glamorized version. I have heard like people say that they don't want to watch the show or don't like the idea of them like glamorizing, drug addiction.
Yeah. It's
But
like, to that, it's like, you got to watch the show
yeah,
to see how much they really
how
don't
much
do
they
that.
really make it seem so shitty. But I think that this was definitely them being like, look, it is not glamorous.
No.
You're like,
It was
they,
a No, it was a lot of long takes, but at the same time, there were like some pretty frantic cuts. It was like there
yeah,
was not too super stylized, like lighting and cues like they normally would do. But again, felt like perfectly necessary and apt for what this episode was trying to convey.
yeah. I think that this episode felt like it could have been like its own short film.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's so much better than I ever would have expected from Euphoria going into it. Not gonna lie.
yeah. I know we're talking about like Rue and Jules is like special episodes and how they work together like companion piece, but I think Rue's episode and this one is like it's like you should just show this pretty much at like every high school or like fuck all the dare campaigns and all of that, which we all kind of know just like kind of did more damage than good. This is not like, well, two guys at a party, you want to smoke some weed, bro, and then they end up like shooting each other or something. This is like the real version of what it means
Yeah.
to deal with addiction and the after effects of what it means to, because like it embodied a lot of what that conversation was about, and it gave you better context and more, I think, empathy and understanding to what she's going through and what the family's going through, and exactly what Ali was talking about, where he's like, addiction is like the worst disease because no one's going to show you sympathy. People will like tell you and think like, oh, well, if they're just going to destroy themselves, then fuck them. Like, that's just their problem. And it's not. It's obviously a lot of your choices and it comes down to you. But really, if your brain is just wired that way, like it's incredibly hard. It's like going against your like pretty much like your base instincts, which is like, it's hard to tell that to anybody. Just like, guess what? Never eat, meat again for the rest of your life. No, that's too much. That's too easy because people do go vegetarian. But also, like, I don't know. It's like
It's like, hey, push away all the people you love.
Yeah.
Even though, normally your instinct is to hold them close.
Exactly. And it was just like, again, it kind of switched up from that to then her chase scene as she's running down the streets to eventually like her just trying to steal from that one house and the dog, which looked a lot like Marshmallow from Malcolm in the Middle. I don't know if you remember that episode.
Her like dealing with it alone, basically, and where she would be if she didn't have that support system that she was actively pushing away. She'd be on the streets. She would be breaking into houses trying to rob people. Yeah. She would be in the graphs, in the cage of Lori.
Yeah, and I think that's what's most important too, is that they show how crucial it is to have that that support system. Those people who are behind you that are trying to actually help you. And again, imagine trying to go through that with nothing, with none of that. That's how you end up exactly like on the street or worse. Okay. Now we get into Lexi and her play and everything that she deals with and how incredibly hard it is, how this high school had the largest production budget, I think, on the planet. I don't think any other high school has ever had this much money and time and energy put into a play that the principal just seemed pretty passive about, honestly.
Yeah, the play took up an entire day at school, basically. Yeah.
He's like, guess what? We're going to put on this play. It's going to be 4 hours long. We're going to need about we're gonna need about $2 million to like put on for all the costumes, the lighting, the effects, and the sets. Seriously though, they went through like I don't know, like 15 different sets. Very elaborate sets.
Yeah, and they were cool sets.
Yeah, I give so much props to this show. I think that's one of the best things. Is like, again, like I liked that in season 1. They put so much time and energy into the lighting and into like all the really cool camera plays and just a lot of really good stuff. But man, does it kind of really shine the most, I think, in moments like this, where it just it works so well for what it was moving out from. Because parts of me was getting frustrated, I'm not gonna lie, where I was like, okay, I kind of wish that they would just focus on the play. I really want to be watching just this play. But at the same time, it was moving through like back and forth, like going on stuff that was happening afterwards, flashing back through time. It was like kind of bleeding in and out between the reality of what was happening in the moment and what kind of inspired those moments.
Could be a little hard to follow. There were times when the actors were on screen and I was like, wait, when was this? And I was like, wait, why do they look weird? And I'm like, oh shit, these are the actors. Okay, I thought we were still watching the actual characters.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in, but I don't know. Like, what did you think about her play just in general, I guess?
Just in general, I think a lot of it was very inappropriate for high school.
Yeah.
If I was like the, I don't know, advisor for the theater department, I'd be like, this is very creative, honey.
You think the giant penis was too much? And the
giant penis was hilarious.
Explosions? Yeah,
the cum explosions were grossly inappropriate for a high school stage. That's all I'm saying.
The giant gay orgy on the theater.
It was so graphic.
I think that was too much, maybe.
It was very graphic. Not age appropriate.
I like how Nate was like, that's so homophobic as he's leaving. And it's like, I don't know if it's exactly homophobic.
I think you're homophobic, Nate.
I think your reaction to this.
Well, you're the only person disgusted walking out of the theater, so.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. It just, it leads to some serious fallout, which is what Lexi was fearing. Yeah, the play. Yeah.
But hey, some people need to get their feelings hurt.
Yeah,
what did you think about the play? Like the actual play itself before we get into the fallout?
No, I think it was, again, just really well done. I think it was very meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little too meta. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again,
it did make it frustrating to follow sometimes, where sometimes I was like, I know what they're trying to do here. Again, they're kind of like bleeding into both things at the same time. The flashes back and forth, and
I
don't know. I felt like I was watching Lost at certain times. I'm like, wait, hold on. Can we just like stick to one storyline or one timeline here for a second, but I think it's hard for me to tell. I'm like, wait, so are they showing this at the play, or is this just something the characters are thinking about in the moment? So it was a little bit hard to follow, like you were saying, but like, so I felt like it was executed very well at times. Like it was borderlining like, oh wow, this is like fantastic television. At the same time, it was kind of frustrating, but I don't know. I was willing to kind of forgive it for the most part.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do think like the actual like high school play too. Like there were a couple things Lexi didn't have to put in there.
Yeah.
The
Like the carousel scene?
exactly the carousel
Yeah.
scene. Why would she put that in there?
Yeah, it's like
she wasn't even really like, I don't know, a part of that. Plus also like that seems like you're straight up asking for Cassie to get upset with you.
Yeah. It's like there's some things again which says like I do agree with what Fez tells her, where he's like, sometimes people need to get their feelings hurt.
Yeah, and she could totally call out some like a lot of their shit through the play. I think that's, I don't know. I guess fine.
It's like exposure therapy. No,
yeah,
that's like that's too literal. But I understand. Yeah, it's like some of it is necessary to convey. Again, I think, of course, Lexi got very fixated on her parts of it. Surprise, surprise. She was really focusing on herself. But moments like, like the carousel, I'm like, that didn't exactly need to be portrayed here.
No one needed to hear that part.
Yeah, but like I understand like the other issues where she was like, Lexi just really, where Cassie only seems to really care about herself, and she's like, oh, I need to look good, and
like feeling like she's in Cassie's shadow and stuff, and hoping that she could be like Cassie, but to be disappointed. Like that stuff seems, again, like she is telling her story, but people write about what they know, and it would be wrong for her to tell any other story. I think in Lexi's position, but her version of what's happening to her and her friends is fine. But the stuff with the carousel, like some of the stuff is like, that is not your story to be telling. Whoa.
Yeah.
Reel it in a little bit.
I think it's like, it's easier to kind of like, again, to like laugh at Nate and what he was going through, because again, he's like such a piece of shit.
He's such an asshole.
So, but like it gets harder to sympathize, or it's harder to like to condone like, her kind of airing out the dirty laundry. But I don't know. Well, like, you guys tell us. Put in the comments like, what did you guys think this was like too much? Like did Lexi have the right to kind of like talk about all this stuff or show it on screen, like in front of the entire school or most of the school?
Yeah.
Or do you think that she should have kept that private? Do you think that she could have like confronted her or talked about it like in a different way? I don't know. Let us know what you guys think.
To be fair, if anyone did this in real life, I would not be saying that it's okay.
No,
like,
honestly,
these are children who are experiencing like some crazy stuff. Like, I don't know.
In real life, in real life, it probably wouldn't have been like, portrayed so artfully and tastefully.
Yeah.
At times. Yeah. So again, there's a lot of holdout, and there's a lot of like fallout from what happens. Lexi freaks out. Maddy goes up on stage. That was one of my
Cassie
favorite parts.
freaks out. Cassie freaked out.
Sorry. Yeah.
I was waiting for Cassie to have her like explode, like after the stuff when she was dressed in the Oklahoma outfit.
Yeah.
And then she was like freaking out, and they're like, but she didn't do that. She just stared at herself in the mirror and like fucking breathed heavily, which was weird.
Yeah.
We were waiting for her to explode. She
was on the verge. Her mom knew what's up. She was like, hide the kitchen knives.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's close this episode out. This has been a long one. So let's you want to give our final thoughts on this season and just how it, how it finished overall, how they handled most of the characters. What, you have any final thoughts you want to give? And then we can do our ratings.
Do you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, I'll go. No, I think it was an improvement overall in season 1. There are some issues I had, like there was like characters I think were kind of just fell to the wayside, like we said, McKay. I really want to see more of him. There wasn't really I guess like a place for him this season, so I think it was okay. I feel like Kat, as much as like I kind of hate her character, so maybe that's why I was okay with her not being portrayed so much, but like I was fine with that. But it would be I would like to see some more follow up with her, you know.
I do agree with that. Her and McKay, because both of them have very real issues that they're facing, you
Yeah.
know? And I think that, just the show is really like kind of covering a lot of different bases. And
Yeah.
it would be nice to see that.
I would love for there not to be a love triangle in season 3. I was fine with it in this season. I think again it was kind of maybe necessary for like the growth of like these three characters. Like Maddy's grown a lot in this season. You know, I think hopefully Nate is far in behind her and she doesn't want to deal with him anymore. That would be an extremely adult and mature move by her, and I hope that's what she takes from this. And Cassie too, but I think when Maddy says to Cassie like, "Oh, this is only the beginning," I feel like it's definitely foreshadowing the fact that Maddy has definitely not grown past that yet. She's experiencing all this, and all this is going to probably lay the foundation for what hopefully she has some character growth, or maybe some kind of recession
For Cassie?
Yeah, for Cassie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, did I say Lexi?
I think you said Maddy.
Say Maddy. Oh,
There's
sorry.
a lot of chick names. I get it. It's fine.
Yeah. So for Cassie, I hope that this is like, I said okay. So like, because Maddy says
This is only the beginning.
to Lexi or to Cassie.
We got it, Cassie.
This is only the beginning
Yes.
of what she's been basically what she's dealing with Nate, because I don't think Nate is the kind of guy that's just gonna let her go.
Yeah. Oh, he just broke up with me. Yeah, okay.
Nah,
No,
yeah.
he's going to keep breaking up with you. He's going to attack you. He's going to manipulate you. It's all going to be hell.
Yeah. And I hope for Cassie's sake that Maddy is able to offer her some kind of guidance, because I think she's the only person who can really get what Nate is capable of. She knows, like, or even then she doesn't even know the full extent of what he's capable of. But she can be there, and as a fucked up friend as Cassie was, like, she doesn't deserve, I think, like the amount of like abuse and mental torture that Nate is can really dish out. So
no person deserves that. Nate is crazy.
So hopefully that would be again a huge character growth for her to be able to understand that and then move past it, because again I think she's going to witness the amount of like shit that's going to come raining down on Cassie's head. So yeah, so that'd be very interesting. But so yeah, anyway, back to my overall rating. I think this was a pretty good, I think this was better than season 1. I think overall it was like it had some of my favorite moments in like recent television that I've seen, specifically with Rue, and I think the way they handled her, I think there's just like it was again, it was incredibly harrowing and real at times, and yeah, just really well done. I think they heard a lot of the issues people had before, and they learned. So I'm gonna put this one like I'm gonna put it on premium streaming for sure. Which I think I may have done that for season 1, but I'm putting this like more on the higher end tier of premium streaming. I think it was really good, really good. It may get higher maybe on like in retrospect, but for right now, yeah. Put it there.
Okay.
How about you?
Shoot, there's something you said that I want to address. Oh, I do think that they took criticism from season 1 seriously, but part of me also thinks that maybe they needed season 1 to be that weird, glamorized, like, dick-filled season that it was to attract people's attention for them to be able to hear the messages that they're getting through with season 2. Like, it's
kind of like in Game of Thrones. I think the first season and maybe the second season had the most like boobs,
pull power, and like sexy scenes,
a lot of like the most sex scenes and everything, and then they got progressively less and less as the seasons went on. And it peaked at like season 4, but like that's it's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I get what you mean though. They kind of like that drawing that attention,
drawing them in,
especially younger viewers, which may or may not should be watching this. I don't know.
Oh, definitely not. I don't. Oh god.
It's like at the same. It's like no, but yes. Like I don't know.
No, but yes. Like I don't know. Whatever. They're gonna watch what they watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's that to think about. As far as overall rating, I didn't get to rate season 1, but I think I put it in the shit bucket, to be honest. I did not like season
No
1. Did I
way.
put it in the shit
Really?
bucket?
That seems pretty harsh.
That
I don't
does seem
know.
harsh. I think I texted you, or was that for something else?
I don't know. I don't remember, honestly.
I don't know. Something you guys reviewed lately was in the shit bucket. I did not really like season 1 though, so I wouldn't be so surprised. But this season, I'm with you on premium streaming. I think premium streaming is fine. Episode 5, that's the one with Rue's withdrawal.
Yes.
That one might be on the shelf for me, just that episode alone. But it was really good. It made me, like, I don't know, kind of feel bad about not liking season 1. Like, it was really good. It's earned my respect. Yes. I'm a Euphoria fan.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to us. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This is the first time me and Rosie have just done an episode together. If you guys like more of that, I don't know, let us know.
Yeah, and if you can't stand us, then be kind.
But yeah, give us your thoughts on Euphoria season 2, on the finale of season 2. I know it's been a contentious one. I've seen a lot of people that didn't like it. So if you didn't, then let us know why. Or if you did, then, don't tell us. I'm just kidding. No, tell us too. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah,
have a good one.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.